Hello, everyone. It's Dr. R.H. Gutierrez, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about bow. But before I do, I want to actually mention how techniques may change. And one of the problems with actually dealing with techniques, especially if you're actually just looking at one picture, is that sometimes the picture shows you one thing, but how did someone get from point A to point B? What I mean is, if someone does, for instance, something here, and then here, and all you see is a picture from here to here, you miss this little movement. Now, why you would miss that, why they would put two pictures, it could be because of the time, it could be because of how the person actually performed, it could just be that the person didn't think it was important to show the two movements. And that's one of the things that happens. It is also something that happens a lot of times with kata. For instance, there's actually a kata we have where it actually comes here, turns, and then you do a punch with the opposite hand. A lot of people have seen it, and so they come here and then do the punch. My teacher, who was actually one of them, was known for that particular kata. He actually, when I did it, he actually said, "You're missing this," and so it's just a quick move here. But when you actually watch it quick, you see this, and so you don't see the turning of the hand here. You may just see this. With a lot of problems when we actually look at something is sometimes we only see something once someone tells us what to look for. Now with bow, it's a little different, and a lot of times we see pictures of how people use bows, and we might see someone from here to here pull, but we won't see if they actually came out and back or if they rolled. Now, there is actually a thing that ends up happening. There was a picture I saw, where a teacher is actually holding a bow here, and it's rolled in. And someone said, well, if you do that, you're going to injure your body. You can actually injure your armpit. You could do a lot of damage to yourself, which is true if the person comes in. But one of the things, if you look at how the force is transferred and kinetic energy, and lever mechanics, you'll actually know that the farther something is from where the force is being acted on a lever, the speed will actually change. So, for instance, if you have a long lever and you're using a little area here, the speed at the end will actually be a lot more than the speed at the trunk. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, I am using a bow that is about 20 pounds. It's actually a short thing, and I'm using the short one because it slows me down. It makes it so I actually have to go slower than, and so it's not going to be a fast, you just do this. And so I can actually show the technique because what I'm actually going for is that slow movement. Now, there are some people who try to do it fast with something heavy. There you can actually do a lot of damage to your joints because as you spin something that's, let's say, 20 pounds, that pull of gravity, that acceleration that you're actually causing will actually make the weight feel like it's a lot more. And so with that, I'm actually just going to turn the camera around and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about when I mean keeping the bow next to your body. Now, again, remember, there are 100 different ways to do something. So what you have to do is use what is more practical for you, what's getting you the best results for what you intend to do. So for instance, if you're trying to do something and you're trying to get a lot of speed in a light bow, and the bow's not going to do, you're doing something the way I'm telling you may not be beneficial. If you're trying to get power into your swing, it actually will work a bit better. If you're doing something else for other reasons, understand the reason of why. A lot of times people get stuck in martial arts with well, just do. I will tell you my experience with my teachers has always been, do you understand why you're doing this? Do you understand what you're doing? And that's actually one of the things that's important, especially if you're teaching, to understand, to pretty much understand why you're teaching certain things a certain way. And sometimes the answer is tradition. That's the way they had done it, and that's the way they're going to do it because they're trying to preserve something. Sometimes they try to preserve a philosophy. A lot of my teachers, the big deal with them was what are you, remember the philosophy, remember this is a fighting art. And so that's one of the big differences between different styles. I'm not saying one's better or worse, it depends on what you're after. So with that, I'm going to just pause. So this is what I'm actually going to use. It's actually about a 20-pound metal rod.
And the reason I'm using it is, like I said, so it slows me down. I am also in a small space, so I want to make sure that I can swing it and show you what I'm talking about. And what I want you to pay attention to is how the bow rolls on my body, how it actually reacts to my rib. I'm going to show you in two directions. Hold on. So here, so in both places, what you notice is the bow never leaves my body. And this being about 20 pounds is actually moving, so the hit will actually be a lot harder than if it was a lighter bow. And what you notice is there are actually wouldn't be any bruises on my body. There's nothing that actually ends up hitting. So if you are pulling, like I'll show you what I'm talking about. If you're pulling across your body, you're not going to end up having it hit you hard. Now, if you are, you end up having another issue, and I won't do this one fast, but you'll see what I'm talking about. So if I actually don't pull across my body, if I actually lift it, you get something else. I'll show you what I mean. So what you notice is if I don't keep it next to my body, you will end up hitting yourself a lot harder. And that can cause damage to nerves and even bone. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was short, and have a nice day. If there's any questions that you would like me to address, please put them on the comments. And if you really love this, subscribe and let me know. For now, have a nice day.